Q6119, which is a true statement the use of instructional aids. A. Instructional aids should be designed to cover the key points in a lesson. B. Instructional aids ensure getting and holding the learner's attention. C. Instructional aids should not be used simply to cover a subject in less time. The correct answer is A. Instructional aids are tools or resources used by educators to enhance teaching and learning. When designing instructional aids, it is important to ensure that they effectively cover the key points in a lesson. By doing so, instructional aids can help clarify and reinforce important concepts, making them more understandable and memorable for learners. Effective instructional aids should align with the learning objectives and content of the lesson. They should provide visual or auditory representations of information, such as diagrams, charts, graphs, images, videos, or models. By presenting key points in a clear and concise manner, instructional aids can help students grasp complex ideas, improve their understanding, and retain information better. Q6120. Instructional aids used in the teaching/learning process should be A. Self-supporting and require no explanation. B. Compatible with the learning outcomes to achieved. C. Selected prior to developing and organizing the lesson plan. The correct answer is B. When selecting and using instructional aids, it is crucial to ensure that they align with the learning outcomes or objectives of the lesson. Instructional aids should be chosen based on their ability to support and enhance the desired learning outcomes. By selecting instructional aids that are compatible with the learning outcomes, educators can reinforce and clarify key concepts, facilitate understanding, and engage students in the learning process. The aids should be directly relevant to the content being taught and should provide support in achieving the specific educational goals. Instructional aids can take various forms, such as visual aids, multimedia resources, hands-on materials, or technology-based tools. The key is to choose aids that are appropriate and effective in conveying the desired knowledge or skills to be acquired by the learners. Q6121. Instructional aids used in the teaching/learning process should not be used. A. As a crutch by the instructor. B. For teaching more in less time. C. To visualize relationships abstracts. The correct answer is A. Instructional aids are valuable tools that can enhance teaching and learning by providing visual or auditory representations of information, clarifying concepts, and engaging learners. However, it is important for instructors not to overly rely on instructional aids as a crutch. Using instructional aids as a crutch means depending on them excessively and using them as a substitute for effective teaching strategies or personal interaction with students. While instructional aids can support the delivery of information, it is essential for instructors to actively engage with the learners, provide explanations, facilitate discussions, and address questions or concerns. Instructional aids should be seen as supplements to teaching, helping to reinforce and illustrate important points, but not as a sole method of instruction. The instructor's role is to guide the learning process, create meaningful connections, and facilitate deeper understanding. Q6122. The use of instructional aids should be based on their ability to support a specific point in the lesson. What is the first step in determining if and where instructional aids are necessary? A. Organize subject material into an outline or a lesson plan. B. Determine what ideas should be supported with instructional aids. C. Clearly establish the lesson objective, being certain what must be communicated. The correct answer is C. Before considering the use of instructional aids, it is crucial to have a clear understanding of the lesson objective. By establishing the lesson objective, you define the specific goal or purpose of the lesson and what you want your students to learn or achieve. This step is essential because instructional aids should be selected and utilized based on their ability to support and enhance the communication of the lesson objective. Having a well-defined lesson objective helps you identify the key points, concepts, or information that need to be effectively communicated to your students. Once you are certain about what must be communicated, you can then evaluate whether instructional aids are necessary and how they can assist in conveying the desired message. By starting with a clear lesson objective, you can align the use of instructional aids with the specific points you want to emphasize, making your teaching more targeted, engaging, and effective. Therefore, establishing the lesson objective is the first step in determining if and where instructional aids are necessary. 6122-1. A disadvantage of using commercially produced study material is that A. Learners may learn to pass a given test. B. Learners use rote learning to remember key knowledge. C. Learners often exhibit a lack of knowledge during oral questioning. The correct answer is C. When utilizing commercially produced study material, one disadvantage is that learners often exhibit a lack of knowledge when they are orally questioned. This drawback arises because commercially produced study materials tend to prioritize surface-level understanding and rote memorization rather than encouraging deep comprehension and critical thinking. Commercially produced study materials are designed to provide a broad overview of a subject or topic, covering key information and facts. While these materials can be helpful in acquiring basic knowledge, they may not promote a deeper understanding or foster the development of critical thinking skills. As a result, when learners are asked questions orally that go beyond the scope of the provided study materials, they may struggle to demonstrate comprehensive knowledge or offer insightful responses. This limitation can be attributed to the reliance on memorization rather than fostering a deeper understanding of the subject matter. It's important to note that commercially produced study materials can still be valuable resources when used in conjunction with other teaching methods that encourage active learning, critical thinking, and application of knowledge. However, this disadvantage arises due to the limitations of relying solely on commercially produced study materials for comprehensive learning.